Michigan is the new leader on the recruiting prediction machine for a pair of four-star pass rushers. Let's bring on Michigan recruiting expert EJ Holland. EJ, before we talk about the new four-star prospects Michigan is trending for, what has changed at Michigan? I got to ask you, you haven't been on for a couple months. Last year, Michigan finished 18th overall, kind of a lackluster run up to signing day. They didn't sign any five-star recruits. This cycle, much different. Currently sitting at number 5. It just feels like there's momentum. There's life in Michigan recruiting again. What changed?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, they proved that it wasn't a fluke on as far as on-field success. Back-to-back Big Ten champions, back-to-back college football playoff appearances. So it all starts with winning on the field, right? Second thing is there was no real drama with Jim Harbaugh in the NFL. I mean, obviously there was the Denver Broncos talk, but it didn't last very long. The year before that, he actually flew out to Minnesota, had a meeting with the Vikings. It went into the contact period when coaches were out on the road. This year, Harbaugh kind of shut it down early. It seemed like recruits knew he was staying at Michigan, where there were more questions the cycle beforehand. So winning, not as much Harbaugh drama, and not a lot of staff movement. You really only had a couple of assistant coaches leave. The staff staying together, the on-field success, the lack of Harbaugh drama, and then just getting guys in early, elite guys in early to help recruit others. This class bond has been terrific. These guys have helped out the coaching staff in recruiting one another. So I think it's all come together nicely for Michigan. I mean, those results on the field are starting to pay dividends on the recruiting trail as it should be.
All right, we're going to talk about a battleground recruitment next, but right now, Michigan fans, like this video and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. We're going to be talking Michigan all summer, so jump on board right now and subscribe. All right, EJ, one of the battlegrounds recruitments that we've been following is with Aaron Scott Jr., the four-star cornerback out of Springfield, Ohio. You told me back in January that this one was going to come down to Ohio State and Michigan. Oregon also involved, but it looks like what you said is happening. Michigan official visit set for June 16th. Ohio State visit set for June 24th. Can Michigan beat Ohio State for a top player in the state of Ohio?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. I think Steve Klinkscale has done a fantastic job here, Michigan's co-defensive coordinator and cornerbacks coach. He has really strong ties in the state of Ohio, dating back to his time at Kentucky, where he himself was an elite recruiter at not necessarily a huge program. Coming over to Michigan, he has a lot more to sell. His track record has been awesome. He's been a guy that's, again, been really, really entrenched in the high school football scene in the state of Ohio. He's well respected in enemy territory. They've already proven they can steal a guy from Ohio, from the Buckeyes. They did it earlier this cycle with top 100 running back Jordan Marshall. I think they can do the same with Aaron Scott. But really, it's going to come down to those official visits. Yeah, for Michigan, it kind of sucks that Ohio State is getting that last OV. But at the same time, Michigan's getting him in for Victor's weekend, which is June 16th. A lot of commits will be there. They want to get him around the guys already in the class. And like I mentioned earlier, these guys have been terrific peer recruiters, and they've been working extremely hard. So I think right now, Michigan is right up there with Ohio State. Like you mentioned, Oregon is hanging around. That was a childhood favorite. But at the same time, I think this is a Michigan-Ohio State battle, and we'll see who comes out on top after those OVs.
All right, let's talk about those two pass rushers that have begun trending in Michigan's direction. I'm talking about Elias Rudolph and Devin Baxter. Let's start with four-star Elias Rudolph, who's at Deerfield Beach High School right now, but he's from Ohio, left there, playing his senior year in South Florida. He's also ranked as a linebacker, but EJ, I know Michigan's recruiting him as an edge. What's going on with Rudolph, and why is he trending right now towards Michigan?
Yeah, they definitely see him as an edge, 6'3", 205 pounds. He's on the lighter side, but they see him as a speedy pass rusher. Michigan's trending because, again, Steve Klinkscale and his strong ties to Ohio. Yeah, he's at Deerfield Beach in Florida for right now, but he is originally from the Cincinnati area. He was an early priority, pushing hard for him. They're getting him in for an official visit next month. I think they can, seal the deal once he makes that official visit. And like I said, it's just kind of that Ohio movement. It's a continuation of peer recruiting and Steve Clinkscale's phenomenal ties in the state.
Another edge that started trending towards Michigan this week is four-star Devin Baxter out of Maryland. He goes 6'5", 235 pounds. EJ, why is Baxter trending towards Michigan?
Yeah, Devin Baxter is a prospect I'm really close to putting in a prediction for. The staff has done a fantastic job of selling him on the recent edge production. Obviously, you can sell guys like Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, Mike Morris, who just went in the draft this year. That's really caught his attention. The entire coaching staff, from Mike Elston to Dylan Roney, has built strong relationships with him. The thing about Baxter and why I haven't put in a prediction just yet is because he hasn't visited. He hasn't made an unofficial visit just yet. He is set to come in for an official visit on June 16th. I think if everything goes well, then it'll just be a formality and Michigan will be able to win out in that recruitment. There aren't a lot of other major players involved in that recruitment, mostly because Baxter is a really high ceiling, low floor type of prospect, but Michigan just loves his upside. They love what he can turn into. They see him as a guy like a David Ajabo that they can stash for a couple of years and then develop into an NFL type of player, into a first, second round draft pick type. So I do think the edge development and just what Michigan has to offer overall has really been impressing Baxter. And this is going to be a big edge class. You talk about Rudolph, you talk about Baxter. There are a lot of other names out there that Michigan is, in a great position for, if not the pole position. Guys like Brian Robinson, guys like Jacob Smith, so guys like Darian Mayo, Dominic Nichols. So this could be 5 edges in this class. I mean, Michigan's finding a way to make room in what could be a class of 30.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about Jaden Davis and relate it to what you talked about at the top. Having a top QB committed has helped Michigan. So who are some of the recruits that Jaden Davis could have an impact on as we head into the summer with the official visits, camps, and all that?
Yeah, so Jaden Davis has been one of the peer recruiters in this class. And when you talk about having an elite quarterback, that obviously helps. That's something Michigan hasn't had in back-to-back cycles. They had 2 project takes over the last 2 years. Jaden Davis is the first high-level quarterback they've landed since J.J. McCarthy. And obviously that's going to help with wide receivers. Some of the guys that Davis has been targeting hard since committing to Michigan. One, his teammate, Jordan Shipp, 4-star receiver out of Providence Day. In Charlotte right now, it looks like a Michigan, North Carolina, NC State battle. Really going to come down whether he wants to stay closer to home or not, but having Jaden Davis gives Michigan an extra boost. You have Burdell Richardson, who spent some time playing on the 7-on-7 circuit with Davis. He's a 4-star receiver out of the Tampa area. That connection's going to help. And then lastly, 5-star wide receiver Ryan Wingo. Michigan's not being talked a lot about when it comes to national reporting with Wingo. There isn't a lot of optimism around Michigan's camp right now, but they did secure an official visit. So you get him in, you pitch Davis, and you never know what can happen. I mean, Wingo's been one of those recruits where the leader on the RPM has changed a couple of times. Why not again? I mean, Michigan is going to do everything they can on that OV, and Jaden Davis will be squarely involved in helping peer recruit.
Yeah, that's why you get a premier quarterback like a Jaden Davis to commit early so you can have a shot at a 5-star wide receiver like a Ryan Wingo. All right, EJ, thanks for checking in. Michigan sits at number 5. It's going to be an exciting summer. You'll be back on the Inside Scoop soon. Thanks. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.